guys and girls, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai. We are getting to a close here, almost at least. We have maybe one or two more series left for you here today. One of those is going to be Oz versus Loner. Loner having dispatched his previous Ash Protoss opponent, liking his mech so far.
Loving his mech so far. I'd even go so far as to say busting it out twice against Grubby as well. Grubby finding the answers though, quickly adapting to that playstyle, which Loner's really been stubborn in that he just hasn't done anything else yet.
That's true.
In TVP that we've seen.
Yeah.
It was only 4 games, but, sorry, 3 games because he won a map.
Well, I think that, interestingly enough, now with all these Protoss having probably scouted out their opponent, I mean, they're at this tournament, Oz was waiting for his opponent, Grubby is also waiting in the wings for the winner of this series here.
Exactly.
So I think Oz is probably going to have a very, very good indicator as to what Loner's going to bring here. We can jump into the first map, guys. It's going to be Belshire Vestige as we get things good to go between Oz and Loner. So let's jump right on in.
Yep, get in the game. Here we go. In the top left, the guy that's been busting out that mech.
Yep.
This is the Chinese player, Loner.
Not doing too bad. We'll see how far it can carry him as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, Red Protoss, going by the name of EG Oz.
I do believe this is his first time on stream today.
Yeah.
Just the only EG representative for this tournament.
In the open bracket, at least.
In the opens, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them waiting in the wings in the groups. We got Alive, we got Revival, we got J-Dong.
J-Dong.
The J-Dong, man.
The Dong himself, the original Dong. And we have Dong 2.0 here as well in Dong Regu.
We do. You're right. We do. All these guys not able to call themselves by their actual name on Battle.net, but that's by the by.
By the by. So, like we mentioned earlier, well, like Kalaros mentioned earlier, Oz having a bit of a break and getting to spot out Loner's play a little bit, did manage to, well, probably sussed him out. So I dare say, not going to blind counter him because that would be silly. But
get the indicators he needs.
He's gonna see certain timings of certain structures and be like, okay, I'm feeling like you're doing this again.
Yeah.
And you know, he would probably be right. Loner scouting across the map here, and really just standard play for both players here. Haven't seen anything out of the ordinary at all. Both pylons at home. No cheese from Oz, unfortunately, as Kalaris did tip a little bit of cheese. But
yeah, man. I was expecting him to do something a little bit more aggressive. I mean, one of the disadvantages of going mech, obviously, is you need it to gather momentum to actually fully kind of gain the strengths of it. But Loner, despite not having to gain the momentum with a mech play, he did have openings which seemed not so volatile. And I mean, this is a prime example of something that he's done very, very nicely in the past, actually going for that engineering bay block. But will Oz cancel the Zealot is the question.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that production tab. So Loner is a very good macro player. I mean, you have to be able to do mech. Mech's all about the econ game, and you need to be able to. I mean, if he didn't kill as many probes as he did when he was playing, oh god, the name escapes me. He just played him. Ash. If he killed as many probes, if he didn't kill as many probes as he did in those games, he would have gotten destroyed. Yeah. Just like in the games he played against Grubby. So
that's true. I think for a long time I always thought that if you're playing mech, you do need those harassments to pay off earlier, so that you can gather what you need to later on for the mech to be fully effective. But Loner for now pokes on him with the Reaper, and it's going to be quite irritating. And Oz, meanwhile, he's just trying to shoot this away so he can actually get that Nexus down.
Yeah, he will get the Nexus down. This Mothership Core is going to deny this Reaper. The Reaper's being very annoying here, denying it one more time, and away he goes. So, yeah, does see that quick Nexus there, and also getting a command center of himself, meanwhile getting a factory and another gas behind this.
So, Yoni gas, man. Yoni gas. He loves it. He loves it. He's going to be probably going for that mech style. That we've already seen him do many, many a time. And again, you know, it's funny because Loner plays a very, I want to say, Ghost late mech style. Generally, you would see Ghost early. One player we can kind of attribute for that is a player in the European scene called Straylock, who loves to go for mech against Protoss, but he gets Ghost very early, and it makes it really difficult to make those High Templars work early, to make those Immortals work as effectively that early. And the Twilight Council's already going down here for us.
Yeah, he's going to try and snipe the Mothership Core here with the mine, but I do believe it will get away. And yeah, So he's looking pretty good. Loner's actually locked up nice and tight here, and the Mothership Core of Oz is just really trying to become, well, it's always a useful unit, but more useful than it is right now. And the Reaper is just poking and prodding, but with that Stalker there, it's not gonna go well for the Reaper.
Yeah, I love the Mothership Core for scouting utility. As long as you're keeping a watchful eye on it and making sure that those Marines aren't being too close to it, then you can really get a lot of intel. Robo facilities on the way as well here for Oz. With the Twilight Council, though, he hasn't dedicated to anything yet. I wouldn't be surprised if he shoots that away and then starts even a Dark Shrine.
And there's that Raven. I do believe this is with that Raven, that almost seals the nail in the coffin of them doing anything other than mech in this game.
Oh yeah, it's a useful thing to have.
Oh, big mine hit there.
Or little mine. 4 kills on him so far.
Yep.
Oz, what are you doing with this Twilight Council? Okay, it's going to be Blink. Interesting. All right, so the utilities of this are pretty obvious. That being said, though, if he does have so many Stalker Heavy, if he does go Stalker Heavy, against mech, it can sometimes be fraught with danger, but I think what he wants to do is get the Blink out early and try and keep his opponent kind of pinned back on a few units and nibble at him slowly. I
feel like he wants to try and catch him by surprise with this Blink Stalker with the obs, and probably sit on the production in the main and do the back and forth. The shenaniganry that one can do when one has Blink and many Stalkers, which will make which will save him from playing against mech, which
Yeah, and I think for Oz at this point, it comes at the sacrifice of drops the scan and saw everything. Saw the Chrono Boost on that Twilight Council. That's a big
scan.
tell.
Great scan from Loner there.
And I think also the thing is that for Oz, either this works and he does great damage, or he could even possibly kill his opponent, or he actually falls back off not doing the damage after getting a third base up and running, but because he invested the gas into the Blink so quickly, his upgrades aren't going to be that quick as well, which, can be, well, weapons upgrades at least can be very, very useful against the mech in the end.
Yeah, seeing that Siege Tank, no shenaniganry, not when that Siege Tank's at home, especially when he's taking that third Nexus. So Oz is just going to posture here. He's getting as much vision as he can. Sees that third command center, which is handy. And gearing up for his unit composition of choice. Is that
no
barracks?
Way.
Those are barracks, Kalaris.
Oh my God, Loner, what is going on?
Did he show a Siege Tank and a Raven, and then make him think he's going mech?
I think that could be the case. Loner, are you?
Is he metagaming right now?
I think so. Blinks forwards here, trying to kill off the bunker. Does, before actually any repairable does go down. So Loner does actually catch the Observer as well if he's not careful. This is going to be so close in terms of actually what he can do. He got the barrack, he got the bunker even. He's actually forcing the liftoff. This is a great move here by Oz, but really he needs to keep him pinned back for longer than this, I would say.
Yeah, denying mining time as well as making that structure liftoff. So it's put Loner on the back foot a little bit, and now it looks like he's gearing away for that main. His Stalkers are just posturing under the lip there and going back and forth. Yeah, he needs that Observer with him. So,
and third command center's here for Loner. So if he can just break out of this soft contain here, he should be able to establish his third base. But Oz is playing this great. The soft contain with the third behind it, and then the transition onto not only the double forge, but charge and the Robo Bay as well. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Loner to fully attribute his composition to all of the outcomes that are going to come here from Oz.
Yeah, and you got that Observer, which is very handy for him to make him feel a lot more comfortable with these Blink Stalkers on the map. And he's actually, Oz is, not only is he doing a good job with the soft contain, he's actually up a healthy amount of workers, Kalaris. 62 probes to the 42 SCVs of Loner with that third Nexus, so severe income advantage for Oz at the moment.
Yeah, you're right, that's phenomenal here. And I think the one thing that's not going in favor too much for Loner again is the fact that because he's kind of committed to this this bio style that he's doing with bio tank. There we go. He's starting these upgrades now, but they have started a little bit later. And for a Terran, you need those bio upgrades going really quickly.
You can't chrono boost them, man.
Exactly.
Oh! Stalker's caught a little bit there. Surprisingly, didn't lose a single one, managing to blink out of there relatively unscathed.
And nice control there by Oz. Oop. And still keeps this Observer alive for a second until the very end. Bye-bye.
The bell tolls for that Observer. Oh, that's cheeky. That is cheeky. Blocking that third CC with a... It's going to just strengthen his lead. The longer this third command center is delayed, the more happy Odd's going to... His smile is just getting bigger and bigger as the game goes longer, I feel. Oh, did he get the... No, that was just a Viking.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was the medevac, actually. But yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. That's a bit of a gas investment there for Loner that goes straight down the pan. And behind that, Oz decides, well, my gas is going to go straight into that Templar Archive. Going to go straight into those upgrades once he can actually, once 1-1's finished, the Twilight Council's already down, 2-2 can start super rapidly, and again, across 3 Nexus with those Chrono Boosts, he's going to be flying. This
is a big attack from Loner though, and Oz, if he does things like lose a Colossus, it's going to become pretty bad for him here.
Thermal Lance not done just yet either, so that one Colossus that is in the back only has that 6 range, and the Gateway Force gets completely dismantled.
Yep. Just a stim with the units at the front, a lot of the units still left back at the sieges, and Loner actually really good engagement for him there. Going to try and get a better siege position. He has a lot of tanks, needs to use them. A lot of Marauders as well. A ton of damage. Really hard hitting force here, and here comes Oz from the flank to the left.
Photon Overcharge doing a good number on these units as well with the blink forwards here, trying to take down some of those siege tanks. Will take down a lot of them. The Photon Overcharge with the flank really paying dividends there for Oz.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. Protoss, very good race, Kalaris, strong units. they have that
Wait a minute. What race do you play?
You know, the humans.
The humans?
The humans, the men.
I like it, man. Yeah, I like it.
That's right.
All right, well, he's still got a healthy Gateway army. 14 Zealots out with charge against 8 Marauders and 10 Marines. It's
manly Marauders and manly Marines.
It's not going to go pretty, man. It's not going to be pretty.
No, that is many Protoss on the dance floor, Kalaris, and it's sad face coming up for Loner, I think, when they head to that third, which they are right now.
Oh, and he's even cordoned off the left-hand side with those Stalkers. So Medevac's not having too easy a time.
And drops is how you get back from this point. You know, you start hitting the econ, which your econ's been behind all the game. So what you do is you try and level the field, kill a bunch of SCVs, or kill a bunch of probes.
And Oz expanding down to the right-hand side, knowing that he can probably be aggressive whilst being defensive at the same time along that right-hand side, as long as he doesn't give up positions in that middle. I mean, he knows this army's moving out here with that with the watchtower that he held, and look how many high Templars he has with Storm.
Yeah, they do. Each one has 1 Storm each, and down they go.
Brutal Storms actually rip apart a lot of that bio. Blinks forward as well, realizing that all he has to do is kill off a lot of that air along with the bio that's already fallen. Oz is in phenomenal shape in game 1.
He's in amazing shape, man. He's up on workers, and he's up on army as well, significantly up on army, and he is barreling through. Hey, look at that, 100 supply to the 50 of Loner, double the army supply. And what can Loner do at this point? He's losing supply depots at the third, and there's going to be a hole for the Protoss to slither through. And that is a lot of Zealots, and they are upgraded.
This is a tough position for Loner. How can he come back from here? He's adding on his Vikings. He's going back into Hellbats, which are, I mean, he already has Blue Flame, so they're technically going to tank a lot of that power that the Zealots have behind them. Very, very useful in shredding that up, but at the same time, I don't know whether he can contend with the sheer amount of units that Oz has.
Yeah, and Oz looks like he's splitting them up as well. Going to send some Zealots towards the natural. They looks like they're queued over there. Meanwhile, a Warp in going to reinforce with another queued attack to the third. Going to go for a huge flank.
Great move here by Oz, realizing that his opponent doesn't really have too much, so he can do damage guaranteed wherever he wants to. These Zealots didn't do too well, but the third, get him ransacked, man.
Absolutely, the third is getting ravaged, and it does need to lift and go away before it gets shot down. And I feel like if the sandwich was a little bit better timed, he actually could have destroyed Loner's entire army here. But with those Colossus at the back doing so much splash damage, I feel like it's not even going to make a difference. Look how much damage he's doing to the bio. There is almost none left.
The Marauders try and split and keep themselves alive, but even the SCVs pulled off a line to try and keep Loner in game number 1. There you go, GG.
GG, wow.
Oz makes it, I dare say it makes it look easy.
He does.
The thing is that for Loner, the weakness for him is in the predictability of what he does, and I don't think he practices bio against Protoss as much. So he says, these guys have already seen my mech. I need to do something different to stand the chance.
I completely agree.
But his power isn't in the bio.
Yeah. So it felt a bit shaky, but he definitely, tried to pull a fast one on old Oz there.
Yeah.
But you can't pull the wool over that guy's eyes. He's played a few PvTs in his time, and he's probably played Loner a few times, and he's looked very solid and very comfortable pretty much the whole game.
Yeah. I dare say for Loner, he actually has to go back to the mech. He has to.
I agree.
You have your strengths in your comfort zone, right? So I think that's going to be his best chance. I don't see any other way. If he sticks to that bio play, Oz knows how to deal with that in spades. Protoss have plenty of time and plenty of games on their backs to actually just deal with Bio quite handedly if you're not capable of fully executing it. I'm not saying Lona's a bad player.
Absolutely not.
It's just clearly not his strength, his Bio. So
the games that he did win playing Mech TVP were actually really impressive.
Yeah.
I wanted to steal them, to be honest. I'm like, well, if I multitask, I can pull some pretty sick wins, and I love Hellbats, and I love Siege Tanks, so...
It's good fun to play. If you can get that advantage early on...
But you need the Ghosts, so if you don't have the Ghosts, it doesn't work at all. So.
Yeah. If you get hit by Storms, because Grubby was doing a great thing. He was Storms, move back, Storms, move back, Storms, move back. He met him halfway. We saw it in that series versus Ash just before, well, if you were watching the second stream, where it was Lona versus Ash. Well, Ash would let the mech come to his doorstep before he'd try and deal with it, and that's where you are in a vulnerable position as Protoss. Whereas if you meet it halfway, keep dancing around, that's where you really can shut it down. So...
Yeah, looking forward to game number 2, man. Very, very excited to see what Lona has in store for us and what Oz has in store for us as well.
Yeah, game number 2, Neoplanet S.
That's right. Actually, one of my favorite maps as playing Terran. I really like Neoplanet S. Has a lot of chokes, which can be really good. But of course, that does make it, I guess, a little bit better for the Colossus player. So if you get a lot of Colossus, a lot of splash damage happening, which Protoss have a lot of.
Yeah.
Neoplanet S, you can pick really good engagements.
Personally, I have a pretty good win ratio on Neoplanet S, so it is one of my favorite maps, but only because I'm alright at it.
Yeah. So yeah, all my favorite maps are the ones that I win all the time.
Yeah, we like those maps.
Winning's great.
Winning is good.
I love points.
Go out there and win, guys. We like that. Alright. So, countdown has finished, guys. We're going to jump into game number 2. Will Oz round it out and move on to play Grubby? Or will Lona bring it back to 1-1? We shall see, jumping into game number 2.
Yes, let's get amongst it. And I honestly would love to see a TVP or a PvP. I would actually personally prefer probably Grubby versus Oz, just because I haven't seen a PvP today yet.
Yeah, that's true. I would like to see that as well, especially how well Grubby can handle PvP. Would love to see him advance. Maybe personal reasons. Good friend.
Yeah. A long-standing ally in the Protoss war against the humans.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Todd's rooting for him as well, probably. But I mean, if it is Oz versus Grubby and Todd comes up to cast, he's going to be happy either way. He loves all his Protoss brothers.
He does indeed. Well, let's talk about a Terran brother in the top right here of Neoplanet S. Currently down 1 map. Can he tie the series? This is Lona.
Sick stuff by him so far. Let's see if he's able to make that mech work or if he goes back to Bio.
Yep. We'll have to wait and see from the team EG in the open bracket. This is our Protoss hero up 1 map currently. This is Oz.
Very good play from him as well. Really reading his opponent pretty darn strategically. I mean, it could have been very easy for Oz to say, you're going to go mech.
Yep.
After what he's seen. But no, decided to attempt the blink initially to try and do some damage. Realized there wasn't that gap. Saw a siege tank. Was like, siege tank, interesting. But then was able to play it out from that point on. I suppose if you do go for that blink opener, it does actually, if you are not able to do the damage, it handily leads into dealing with some bio play later on.
It does. And it's, you know, if you manage to sneak away, you know, have a sneaky cheeky 7 or so gateways and then go for it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty quick GG usually.
Good, man.
Very annoying. It's old, it's aged, but it's effective. It's effective. I still believe in it.
It's a nice one, man. I'm liking it. All right, Lona, he's poking her up and around. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw the attempt at an engineering bay at the natural once again. But the probe's going down to try and block it, maybe?
Oh, no, the probe is just like, yeah, whatever, bro. You drop your NG bay, I don't even care.
Yeah.
I got other plans.
He's off on a different route, and interestingly, was scouting out for proxies by the looks of things.
Yeah, interesting. So I was just being a little bit super safe here.
I don't mind that from Oz. I really don't. Like, it doesn't take too much brain power and, you know, just focus to spot out these locations like he has been doing with that probe, making sure that nothing crazy is coming along to deal a lot of damage. And he's got the Zealot on the way, so he should be able to dispatch of an engineering bay quickly if it were to go down.
Yeah, he doesn't afraid of whatever this SCV has in store for him. It probably is going to, yep, there it is, the NG bay going down again. But like you said, not going to cancel the Zealot. There it is. And
yeah, good timing on the Zealot. Oz has certainly read his opponent nicely in terms of not only in game 1, but also prior series.
This marker is so cute. I love watching pro players play. One of the greatest things about watching pro players play each other is when someone does something crazy, and then there's like the sickest worker micro you will ever see with tier 1 units that are melee, and you're just like, this is just This is so beautiful. This is why I love StarCraft. It's just macro, macro, macro. It has it all.
So Maynard, helpful advice for you guys. Pro play, sick worker micro.
Sick worker macro.
Loving it.
When you find 2 gateways in your main and then someone holds somehow, some way, even though on paper it should never happen. Dude, that's the kind of stuff that gets my juices going, Kalaris.
Oh, I love it when like a Terran sees, oh, there's gateways in my main or something like that, and then they just start like walling it in with barracks. Yeah, that's the best. It's like, well, how are your Zealots gonna get out now? That's so
you can't float those, douche.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
That's right. And Mothership Core coming in for a bit of a look on the main here. The Widow Mine kind of had an opportunity to get on that lip, which is kind of like the road most traveled for a Mothership Core, so it's like a good place to put it blind. But yeah, did actually send that Widow Mine straight to the natural.
Ooh, hey, where's the Twilight Council going down? He just saw the Twilight Council, right? With that Reaper.
Yeah, he must have.
In the very, very back, he just saw that Twilight Council. So a good scout here from Lona, being able to kind of assume what his opponent's up to. He might see those Stalkers and be like, it's Blink again. But it would be funny if Oz did kind of deviate things up. I don't think he's going to, though. I think it will be Blink again.
He just dropped the Widow Mine straight in the natural. Very bold play here from Lona. It's actually out of range from everything, though, but, there it is. He just rallied it straight over there. Oh, here we go.
He's going for it. He's going for it.
Oh, it's a risk.
Oh. That one probe's like, oh, I should go. Oh, maybe not. No, not that way.
He's going to pair up with somewhere where it's a lot safer.
It's weird to say this, but that is good mining from Oz.
Yeah.
I'm not mining from that left patch.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, God, that hit was actually amazing.
Okay, that wasn't that good mining from Oz in the end.
How about that mining, Kalaris?
Damn it.
Oh, damn. And that's that was nearly a dead Zealot.
These are not, well,
how are these 2 Widow Mines doing as much as they've done?
They've done well for themselves.
That one not so much, but his friend here in the natural has been doing a good job.
And he dropped the scan, sees the robo facility.
Oh yeah,
and that's the normal thing. It's the Reaper poked in, saw the Twilight Council, is like, wait a minute, that gas should have been invested normally in a robo facility.
Remember this unit in TVP?
Oh,
it's a Banshee, Kalaris.
Wow. It's kind of weird that he's going for it. He didn't go for Cloak though, right?
No, he's getting Blink.
All right. Wait, no.
No, he can still afford it. He has it.
Well, if he went for Cloak, that would be super weird to me.
Yeah. But Protoss have so many ways of defending now. Like they have the Mothership Core, the Nexus Cannon, Photon Overcharge. The Oracle, of course, is another standard unit really, and it has that detection capability in the early game. So
yeah, I mean it just leads into a weird thing. I mean, Widow Mines are there, they're burrowed in your mineral lines. I need detection. And then he would to get Cloak, that would be like, well, I mean, you already have detection, that'd be kind of strange. But yeah, I mean, this is interesting here from Lona. So I think, if he went for, if he goes for 2 Banshees on either side and tries to do damage, then
it looks like he's going to try to. Yeah, he's got a second one queued up here. He's not done with this.
Even the Observer's just hanging around though. Yep. Wise not to invest in Cloak.
He's like, I remember that from Wings of Liberty. How quaint.
Well, he's trying to make it work. Not really going to make too much happen though. There's too many units out right now, and especially with Blink coming down, as you were saying before, it's like, it's going to be hard to make work.
Exactly. So even with the double prong, it's going to be really tough for Lona. So I feel like he's pulling something out of his playbook here that might, like the previous game, maybe something that he hasn't practiced as much.
Yeah.
I'll have to see though. He is obviously a much better player than both of us, so he has the plan. Oh yes, the obs on the lip there with the Blink. So another opportunity for us.
And the 2 factories are now on the way here for Lona. So the transition into that mech play is completely abundantly obvious. I wonder if he's seen this. I think the Observer has seen it fully. So yeah, he sees extra factories going down. So there's a good read here for Oz, and now he prepares himself. I mean, he's got a Robo Bay going down, but I don't even think he needs that. It's just stick to Immortals, man. Why would you need Colossus?
Double Forge coming up as well. There's going to be some strong robotics units, which is exactly what you need. Of course, also the other thing you need to do is not lose all your units to stuff like Banshees and Medevacs, but this Banshee has been completely useless so far. It's just had a few pot shots, and now that he has Blank and no Cloak, I do believe that is the day of the Banshee has concluded.
Yeah, poor little girl. She's gonna have to go home with the tail between her legs.
Well, she could actually come back and be part of the composition for later if she doesn't get Blanc. Oh, she got Blanc.
She got Blanced, ma'am.
She got Blanc, and those have a charge of Blink. No.
Okay.
Made it past the ledge.
Not too blunt.
No, not too blunt. Just a little blunt.
I like what you were saying, though, about having it later on in the composition, because generally, you've got... Your opponent will be going very Zealot heavy against the mech style. You generally have... Well, I'm not necessarily very Zealot heavy. It's more like the Immortals and the High Templars. Bye-bye. And if you do end up mixing Ghosts in, one Banshee against that, if you EMP your own Banshee, and then not have the feedbacks as the potential to actually shut that down, can be really annoying to deal with.
I agree. Third scouted here by Oz. And yeah, his army is kind of out of position to defend, which is a shame, because here comes a bunch of Protoss units, and they're going to start shooting down all the SCVs and the command center, and they have Blink, so they can make their quick getaway.
Yeah, that pylon was there for a while, so Loner not really discovering that, and well, discovers it off the back end of taking some damage.
Can he snipe and get out? I don't know if he can.
I think it'd be even worse sacrificing some of the SCVs.
The SCVs are trying to... Oh, he saves it!
Oh. Oz, he sacrificed 1 or 2 Stalkers. I was about to say, if he'd have sacrificed 1 or 2 Stalkers and got it, that'd be fantastic. But Loner with the clutch save at the very end.
That was like down to 5 hit points, man. He just kept pulling one SCV, another SCV, and all the repair he needed. And he's to be very, very happy about that engagement there. Very happy indeed. And
now Loner with his 3rd base up, he does now gather that stride into that mech style here.
Yep.
That he really, really wants here. And Oz is still building Colossus. Oh, okay, so he starts the Immortal at the very end. How many Colossus does he actually have? He only has 1 with Thermal Lance. So he might trick his opponent into making more Vikings than he needs. Uh-oh.
Oh, those Hellbats are in for a world of pain.
Yeah. Oh, these blunks, man.
Yeah. If he had that Observer, it could have gone really bad, but no, he does escape. Like Todd gave me some advice, you know, this is my first international cast. You guys are pretty well traveled and had a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
And he said, never ever call a medevac dead until it actually is.
Oh yeah, dude, that happens all the time.
Because they're slippery.
They do, they get out there, man.
They do.
Especially if they've got the boost available to them at the very last second of like some engagement. It's a tough one to call, but anyway, Warp Prism's now on the way. He got Storm as well, so Oz technically could go for Storm drops if he wants to. There is the Ghost on the way as well, though. So it's going to be Mech and Ghost and extra Robo Facility. Needs to have so many Immortals, just like Grubby did. Meets him halfway in the map, would easily shut this down, but Loner with these drops once again.
Right. And speaking of drops, this is what you need to do if you want to beat your mech player.
Yeah, man. Oh. Very nice player by Oz here. He's got these Stalkers really well positioned. There's a clump over to this left-hand side. There's a clump down to the bottom right as well, just below his opponent's base. So Oz is really taking great precautions against any kind of damage Loner could do. He's only killed 7 workers with these potential drops that have done nothing here for Loner.
Exactly right. Oh, he's getting in position here. Looks like the 3rd, if he tries to Warp Prism that, it will get shut down pretty hard. He might need to split up his army and try multi-pronging this. These Stalkers are very, very bold.
Very bold. I guess he was trying to use them as a distraction whilst the Warp Prism sneaks on in.
The army is out of position. Actually, it looks like he's attacking from 3 fronts here, but 2 fronts got shut down really badly. Oh, God. Do they warp in? Yes, they do, and they're in the main. All over the production. Storm's going down on the Hellbats.
Yeah, tries to catch quite a lot of them. Doesn't catch the SCVs that he would have really ideally wanted there. A few beatbacks as well, though, on some Ghosts.
I feel like that engagement, all 3 of those engagements went insanely in Loner's favor. Yeah. He's in a really good spot now. If he wasn't in a good spot before, Loner is sitting very pretty. I'm
still so interested that Oz is still producing Colossi here. I think the Immortals would be the more useful option here against the mech.
Yeah, it's very odd. Yeah, I would have thought 2x2 with the Immortals instead of going 1 Colossus, 1 Immortal from the 2 Robos.
Look at this army, man. That's a strong army moving out into the middle of the field. Plus 2 weapons is going to finish up. This is going to come very nicely timed here for Loner.
And it might be too strong as well with the Protoss completely out of position. It might actually come down to Oz just going for it because he doesn't have a choice. He won't be able to turn around and stop this.
Weirdly, I think he actually might be anticipating a base trade because he's got a base up down to the bottom right. He's got a base up to the top left.
Yeah, it looks like he's gearing up for it.
It's like what a Zerg does when they've gone Mutalisk exclusively and just like, I'm going to expand everywhere and just run around in circles with my army, but I don't think this works out too well against the Terran with mech.
Well, this army packs a pretty damn huge punch as far as the Terran army goes, and the Protoss, does he have a Mothership Core stuff? Can he recall? Does he want to recall? I mean, he can't engage this army. The Mothership Core is out by itself somewhere.
Out in the middle of nowhere, man.
Yeah.
And Lona trying to do some damage to his opponent's infrastructure. And there's 2 bases going up to the top left and top right, as I was saying before. Top left and bottom right.
Yep.
But the thing is, he's actually adding on some extra gateways up to the top left, along with a dark shrine.
Oh,
so,
very nice.
I'm curious, because if he doesn't land command centers, if he has to lift them off everywhere and try and make that work, this is going to get a bit weird.
And Lona is going for that thing that Terran sometimes did in Wings of Liberty and sometimes won some games that they may not have deserved, where they get the where they get the cloak on the Banshee and then manage to snipe that observer, and then all of a sudden, what are you going to produce as an observer out of? Your main is gone, and then the cloak Banshee just removes the entire army of the Protoss.
So what you're saying is that this game is going to come down to Dark Templars versus Banshees.
Exactly.
Which is better?
Well, one flies, and one doesn't.
Yeah, man.
But that said, one needs energy to cloak.
Where is this Dark Shrine? Is it still up? Is it up to the top left? Did it die?
I think it might have been made in the main and it's gone. Yeah, it's not. It's actually dead. Uh-oh. Guess we won't find the answer to your question, Clarence.
Yeah. This could be tough here for Oz. Army supplies, very close. 103 to 104. Couldn't be any closer.
Yeah.
And worker counts, 5 probes against 1 SCV.
Right, so Oz with a 500% advantage in work as well.
Whoa, I've never seen a Protoss be that high up.
Wow. But yeah, look at the banks.
Lona has a lot of minerals here.
Yeah.
He needs to retain so many of these High Templars. He threw down this Storm to try and kill off some of this army. But if he can keep these High Templars, Storm run away, maybe he has a chance. But it's going to be difficult.
Very difficult. All right, here come a lot of Hellbats right in the front of those Zealots. And those Zealots evaporated. And here comes the Archon. Storm's going down decent. Storm's actually on the Vikings.
Oh, and actually there's really not... I mean, there's a lot of firepower left in those siege tanks.
Yep, tanks are still pretty good. And down goes all the heavy-hitting things of the Protoss army. He's only got the one Archon and the 1 High Templar, and those 2 Zealots that are wailing on Terranville in the top right. So,
all right, let's do the unit counts. I know it normally doesn't come to this, but we have 11 Zealots, 2 Archons, 1 High Templar against 1 Hellbat, 6 tanks, and 2 Marines. You know, actually,
yeah.
if Oz catches him in a really strange spot, he could actually do some damage. But there's more Hellions in production, and that's really going to cause problems for just Zealot exclusive.
Yep, Hellions with Blue Flame as well, so quite good. Oh, those Zealots didn't quite make it to the front lines, but these ones will. And getting rid of these siege tanks is a very good start for Oz here.
All right, there's only 1 siege tank left. That goes down. There's only 5 Hellions left against 1 Archon and 4 Zealots.
I would want to be the guy with the Archon and the 4 Zealots, that's for damn sure.
Oh, this is so close. The Zealot's going to just march on forward here. Blue Flame does a lot of damage to them. The Archon, he needs to be the hero of this.
He does. He's got a lot of hit points. He's got a lot of armor, and he's just kiting back and forth. This Hellion micro is actually really good from Lona.
That's all he has to do. If he can kill off this 2 Zealots and the 1 Archon, I think he does it. Because if he can get access to this mineral line...
Oh my god, he just went up to 16 Hellions.
Whoa, wait a minute.
He just dropped a bunch of mules in the main. Remember how I said Protoss is a pretty good race?
Yeah.
Turns out Terran's pretty good as well.
There you go, GG.
And GG from Oz. Lona tying the series 1 apiece. What an entertaining game too. That was great.
It was like 4 Hellions, 4 Hellions, a billion Hellions. Oh, I wasn't quite expecting that to happen.
But then reacted Falcon.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so now we have a 1-1 situation.
Good. It's my favorite situation.
Like that?
More games of StarCraft, that's what that means.
Oh, yeah. I'm not quite sure, though, because I'm pretty sure the venue shuts at 5.
That is a point. That is a point. That's a thing. We should probably keep an eye on that.
And the current time is probably like 4:46. Or something like that. Anyway, welcome guys and to the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai. We are going into game number 3 of Oz versus Lona. The winner of this will advance on to play Grubby to see who gets that last spot in the groups.
That's right. Pretty big deal. Yep.
I'm wondering if the upper bracket is the first bracket is concluded because Jim disappeared into the night.
Jim had a visa issue and I think he didn't come back.
It was for WCS America, I believe. And then he was like, I need to go and get my visa for WCS America. And then he was like, I'll be back at 3 p.m. And then he never returned. He is disqualified, according to production.
Told. There we go. Sorry, Jim.
Sad times. Well, you can't just disappear, I guess, in the middle of a tournament.
Rules are rules.
Rules are rules, man. That's sad, though. I would have liked to have seen Jim in the groups.
He was impressive.
But yeah, he did really, really well during the entire bracket, but he is disqualified. our lovely voice in our ears telling us exactly what's going on. Okay, we can jump into game number 3, guys. It's going to be on Whirlwind to wrap up this last series, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our blue Terran tying things up. He is Lona.
And in the top left, the EG Protoss, we have got Oz. And this being the fact that it is Lona and Oz playing each other on Whirlwind, this could actually be a very long game, Kalaris.
Whirlwind.
Whirlwind.
I'm liking that. Whirlwind. Yeah. Well, it's cross positions. Not cross positions force, but it is cross positions here now. So Oz, he certainly has options, but as does Lona. Lona, it's weird because I actually really don't like mech on this map at all.
It's just too big.
Yeah, it's just too big.
Because the idea, the great thing about mech is having that siege line all up in a choke, like on Neoplanet S. So he could siege up between those bases, or he could siege up during down one of those attacking paths, and the Zealots just had to charge into a siege line.
Yeah.
And yeah, this map you can just go, oh, there's a siege line, and then walk around it.
It's a tough one to deal with. Although again, we saw Lona versus Ash prior on the secondary stream with Nathanius, I believe, and Lona just was allowed to get the positions he wanted to get on this map. So going mech and getting those spots that you want to get, if you can get them, then great. But Protoss ideally should be greeting it middle map and then saying, no, not today, not today.
Not today, indeed. I feel like Oz is a slightly stronger Protoss than Ash, though, just based on the games that I saw. Oz, of course, has that history of, you know, playing in the GSL, being an FXO. He's been around. He
has certainly been around. And, I mean, for a long time, he did very, very well for himself.
Yeah,
one could argue that he was a, you know, GSL top 4, top 2 contender for quite a while.
At one point, absolutely.
Yeah, but then kind of fell off the mark a little bit, trying to kind of regain the heights that he once was at.
Oh, dude, I just had a flash in my brain of the players that we're going to be casting tomorrow, and I got chills a little bit.
Yeah? It's good stuff, man.
I just thought about Pro League and GSL and Youngsik and all those people being a part of groups tomorrow. It's kind of, it's just freakishly exciting.
I want to see more of Myunzik, man. I really want to see more of Myunzik.
Yeah, man.
He really made it work in the qualifiers, taking innovation to the edge, no less. That game on Neoplanet S was phenomenal.
Unfortunately, if anyone did expect innovation at this tournament, he got subbed out for Hyun.
Yeah.
So we'll be seeing Hyun instead.
Other priorities, which are understandable. A lot of other stuff that you need to be doing.
Yeah. Being Emperor of the Universe is pretty hard.
Yeah, true. You have a lot of obligations. he can multitask well, but not that well.
Yeah,
playing 2 tournaments at the same time.
The universe is a large place.
Indeed. All right, well, Command Center's going down for Lona behind all of this, adding on the factory reactor. So Hellions abound whilst the Reaper pokes around.
Good Reaper poke too. Oh, I thought he was going to have the Reaper block there so they could snipe him down with a Magic Core. Nice little cute trick of micro that Grubby likes to do.
Yeah, subtle, but I like it.
Subtle, but sometimes pretty effective. Of course, you know, when you're a Warcraft 3 dude, you tend to do cute things with your micro.
Block everything off and be completely fine. But now, I think that Oz will prepare accordingly, and if he makes Colossi again, I actually might cry. They just didn't really work very well in that game.
Well, Twilight Council going down again, so it's looking a lot like the last game.
He seems pretty set in his ways regarding this.
Yeah, he does. We were just talking about how set in the ways Lona is, when really it's been Oz that's been set in his ways in this best of 3.
You're right, we've been completely disproven. It's cast a curse, man.
Hey, it happens. When I do my casts, I tell my viewers that I'll lie to you guys at least once by accident.
Yeah?
At least once. And it's always by accident. I don't know if we're on purpose.
Oh, well, you love them all, really.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I like my viewers.
Don't intentionally.
Very, very
handy. The thing is, once again, Lona opens up with Widow Mines. The initial gas that should have gone into a Robo normally is now in Twilight Council that has been spotted, along with Blink that's been spotted in terms of its production. Yep. So these Widow Mines can still be effective. They have that window of opportunity where there's no detection again.
Yeah, and this is probably going to be another drop. Instead, well, this one looks like he's just going to go for the walk.
He's going for that scuttle, like a little crab.
The scuttle over to the natural, which he will be met by some forces by the looks of it. Oz on the ball for this Widow Mine here, so he could catch him if he's not looking at the minimap. Alternatively, behind this, I think he's also going to try and drop some as well. maybe drop a mine and a few Marines.
Yeah,
it's a bit of an early HOTS thing.
Oh, he was so well prepared.
Oh, he's going to be a little bit salty about that.
Oh well.
Well, that's the best he could probably hope for, is losing one probe to that.
Yeah, he was so well prepared, bless him, and then he just moves out of the way. He's like, I'm anticipating this from the back.
The timing window is over.
Yeah.
And then, but he's in position for the one that's going to be dropped at the main, though.
I swear, if he moves down to the natural.
We should play that Benny Hill song. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well,
actually, has he forgotten about this winter mine? Because it's about to kill a bunch of probes.
AP. Ooh, this could get dirty. Okay, this one decides to uproot before.
That one just... Yeah, that one, that's the one I'm talking about, man. That just unloaded on the natural.
Oh, jeez.
He just let that one go.
He let it rip, man. Well, for 35 workers, 239 here. In favor of Oz still, but...
Pretty good for 2 mines. I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right, he's getting the Raven down again as well. I like that choice. I mean, not only does it give you the opportunity to spot, DTs if your opponent's going to be going for it, but also denying observers is also a great utilization of it.
Yeah. Dropping 2 extra gases as well as starting siege tank production.
Can it be the mech? Can
it be, Kaelaris? I feel like it will be. But that 3rd command center on the way, probably going to head that to the north instead. Yeah.
Hey, the Marines again. You started a few Marines up.
Well, a Marine siege tank is one of those one of those unit comps that can work in every single matchup.
Oh,
and, it's definitely worked in TVP, and this is actually a pretty scary attack from Lono. Oz needs to take this seriously.
Yeah, he really does. I've seen a lot of, in the past, there's been a lot of Marine siege tank plays from people like Supernova against Protoss that have worked absolutely outstandingly. So we'll see if Oz is... Well, a few misrallied probes, but we'll see if Oz can deal with it. He's getting the Robobait again. He needs to fully commit. He needs to fully find out that it's going to be mech again here with the 2 factions going down.
Is he just going to straight up lose this Nexus, Kaelaris? I'm not sure he can engage this many Marines in a siege tank.
It's so much firepower that he has.
And he has the defense drone as well.
Oh, a brilliant play here, realizing that his opponent was so heavy on the Stalkers, using that PDD, gets a pylon, but the Potion Overcharge pushes him back.
But that's it. I would have gone for it, but I'm not that great of a player, so I'm just a little bit confused. I'm like, I could have killed a Nexus, man.
I mean, he probably could have got it, but it would have been at the sacrifice of a few units. Admittedly, yes, it's only Marine, so it's only minerals, but still, you have to be wary of that potential counterattack, I guess.
Yeah. Sometimes the Nexus cannon makes you freak out as well. It's an insanely long range and unexpected sort of. It just appears, and you're like, oh god, and then.
And it's always there unless you're willing to kill off the million health of a Nexus.
He Blanken got a siege tank there.
Nice. And behind this, Double Forge, he's going for the charge as well as Templar Archives.
That unit that you love, there's an extended thermal lance on the way. I've never seen Kaelaris cry before, guys, so I'm looking forward to this.
Dude, I normally like Colossi, but against a mech player, it's really hard to make work out. Much more able to make that work if you're going to go for those Immortals. But Oz, I mean, the second game was kind of close. The second game was kind of close despite all of that, so maybe Oz can make it work.
He's just going for epic splash damage here. Oh, the supply depot block. What a cheeky bugger. Getting Storm as well. This is all the anti-mech tools that you have in your shed, so...
Well, Blueful Flame is on the way, 1-1 as well. A little bit quicker here than Oz's 1-1. The armor, not that amazing against mech, but the weapons is what you really want to be focusing down on.
You want to be getting those attack upgrades, and eventually the shield upgrades to prioritize over the armor as well, if you go into the Archon and the Immortals.
Oh, yeah.
You need those shields.
Yeah, very, very useful. And also, I mean, if it gets stupidly far and you say, well,
which it could.
It's time for air, then those shield upgrades benefit even more.
Yeah, and they do. And the armor upgrades for the Terran will help as well if he wants to go into air. So
yeah, that's true. That's true, man.
That joint upgrade I sometimes slips my mind a little bit.
It's a nice one that they have at their disposal.
Remember in the beta when the attack and the armor were for air and ground for Terran?
Oh,
it was basically the most Ember thing in the whole world.
It was amazingly strong.
It's like, I'll just switch into Vikings and Banshees and then GG, because it's all 3-3. It doesn't even matter.
It was pretty tough for people to actually deal with. But now, Oz here, He spots a few Hellbats and knows what he needs to do. He's positioning those Stalkers again, and he's just going to expand everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if this game went on for a very long time if Oz wants to try and draw it out. But he scans and sees...
Yep, Loner has he has his finger in every pie right now. He's doing a really good job. He's scanning. He knows exactly what Oz is up to, and I feel like there's been like a momentum shift in this best of 3 where Oz was really holding the reins at the beginning, but now it looks like Loner's wearing the pants. He's just really starting to adjust to the player he's up against. He's doing a really good look. He's already preparing for the Warp Prisms. He knows he's going mech. He knows that if he gets dropped, if he starts losing SCVs, his mech won't be as good. So he's dotting every I and crossing every T right now, and I'm smiling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm liking it as well, I must admit. Loner here just taking all of the precautionary measures necessary, just saying, you are not going to break me. My army is going to be fantastic. And then when that engagement comes, it's going to be a lot harder for you to actually fully win that battle. And there's only still one Immortal on the way. I am hoping that after that Warp Prism, we see the double Immortal production. Yes, there we go.
Hey.
So Oz here.
So you won't cry.
Nope, not going to cry just yet. He's ramping it up.
He is.
We're going to see the proper engagement this time.
And they're going to be tough as hell Immortals as well with the attack upgrade. Still getting the armor instead of the shield, but that does help with especially the Zealots, I suppose. The Zealots are going to have a ton of hit points, or, you know, a ton of armor, which is going to be great against all of the ground forces of Loner. The Hellbats take quite a few more sweeps on their Zealots.
You know what's really awesome here, though? The fact that he actually has Hellions out instead of Hellbats. It just in a few clumps of them, because this aggression is something that was if you did use mech in Wings of Liberty, these Hellions just running around, they were a mech standard against Protoss, trying to pick off some workers here and there. 18 workers killed off so far. Great little move. I mean, it's not a massive investment when you're sitting around on 3 or 4 bases with sense towers and missile turrets everywhere.
Well, he wanted the blue flame anyway. It's not like he invested in those Hellions. They were just like an extra. They were like the sprinkles on the sundae. He doesn't really care because he's going to have blue flame for his Hellbats, which is what he really wants. And those things are going to pack a hell of a punch. Drilling Claws in the way as well, so he's going to pepper in some mines.
Dude, what a great scam there, though. Spotting that base up to the top right-hand corner.
Great star sense here from Loner. He's just really impressing me this game, especially more so than the one that he won the last game.
And there's the double Stargates going down. So this kind of goes back to what you were saying about shield upgrades being good across the board for someone going up against a mech player. Now Oz, I'm assuming he's going to try and go into Tempests.
Yeah,
which is what
I
we
would
saw
say
prior.
so. I would say so. Tempests are pretty much the thing you want against the mech dude. Oh, look, and the drops got in the main anyway, even with Loner's defenses. And he's warped in a ton of Zealots all over the production. Meanwhile, attacking on the third as well. Or the fourth, even.
And good moves here by Oz, really trying to stretch Loner thin and taking a supply advantage for just a little bit. Loner's banking up some money, though, and those DTs actually cleaning up some as well here. So good moves by Oz, trying to keep Loner on the back foot.
Doing a good job, too. Oh, nice storms on those Hellions there. Or the Hellbats, rather.
Yeah, good moves, and, well, does clean up the Zealots in the main. Doesn't lose too many workers, 10 in total, but he kind of shut down a little bit of his opponent's income where he could. So, very, very close in terms of resources lost as well.
Yeah, actually, that's I'm glad Infeza brought that up. The Observer Infeza, shout out to that guy if you guys didn't know.
Dude.
He's a good guy. So, yeah, there's the Fleet Bacon on the way, which means that we are going to have Tempests very, very shortly. And that's going to make Oz even more scarier for Loner. So I think Loner feels like he needs to do damage at this point. I don't know if he's scouted since those Stargates went down. I think he might have. Yeah, those DTs are not going to do anything.
Oh, you mean did Loner spot up at the top, the Stargates?
The Stargates, yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of aggression going on there. So I think he has spotted them and knows that they should be on their way. And
yes, he does. Okay, so he probably feels like Tempests are on the way. He is actually not producing any Vikings, but he does. So I think he's gonna go for attack, bring up some supply, and maybe switch to some anti-air.
I'm loving the amount of ghosts that Loner has in this army right now.
Yeah, this is so important. Oh, but all the Zealots are on the left-hand side, away from the ghosts. Kolaris.
Oh, that was actually really well done in terms of Oz killing off those ghosts very, very quickly. The Archons tanking a lot of damage, but at the same time, those Hellbats moving on forwards here, really piling on the pressure, and Loner will push through for now.
Yeah, he's going to continue. He's going to continue on. He's not done with this yet. He needs to keep putting on the pressure to Oz, because there is going to be a Tempest army pretty shortly. Sieging up in a really nice spot here for Loner. Oz is going to go for a little bit of a flank, doesn't have too much on the left, but plenty of units on the right.
Oh, he came in from either side and absolutely wrecked that in the end. Loner just overextending a little bit, and in the end, I mean, he gets punished for it. He's got 3-3 on the way behind this, but now with the bases up and running for Oz in these locations, with the good upgrades that he has as well, he has an opportunity now to pressure his opponent a little bit.
Yeah, and it's 3-3 for what, Kalaris? He lost a lot of units.
Yeah.
And it's still similar to Wings of Liberty. If you lose your mech army, that's really, really bad.
Oh,
because
yeah.
that stuff is expensive and it takes a long time to build. So,
well, Oz decides he's going to actually put on the pressure himself here. So,
yes, not that much from Loner here.
That is not. 3 siege tanks, not going to deal with that too easily. Needs more than that. And, well, he's actually going to siege up as the engagement occurs right in the middle of it. Blinks on forward. The Immortals actually focusing him down.
The Immortals just tear it apart. The Vikings are going to get splash damage to help from these Archons. And Oz forced a GG.
Oh, wow. Oz advances on, and now that means we have the final series later on, which will be a PvP between Oz and Grubby to determine who advances on.
Just like we wanted. Just what we planned from the beginning.
Ha 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 ha. It was all a plan.
Right.
Well, commiserations to Mr. Loner. You know, I actually really enjoy watching mech in PvT. It's something that you don't see too often.
No, it's a refreshing change.
Yeah.
Sometimes can be frustratingly slow, as mechs often is, but it's different and it's very, very powerful. And as we've been shown, if you do it right, viable.
Very, very powerful indeed. So now that is going to be, I think, the last series of the night. Grubby versus Oz here. That PvP to determine who advances onto the groups later on. So cool stuff there. Grubby, I think he feels pretty confident. I was talking to him earlier. Yeah, I think he said that he was going to beat Oz. So.
But he's always so confident, Kalaris.
He's a pretty charismatic chap.
He's very confident. He's always smiling and he's always happy. And I don't even think, even if he was up against Innovation, he would be like, yeah,
I'm going to beat him.
I'll beat him. I'll be okay.
But in the back of his mind.
the little bit of fear that's at the back of his brain just scratching at it.
I don't even, like, there's those points, like, if I met Innovation here, I'd be, like, kind of scared to go and just shake his hand. I'm like,
I'd be petrified. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, scary stuff.
Actually, maybe I would, because I think that Gosu does transfer through skin touch.
Is that how it works?
So if we go for a shake hand, I've shaken a lot of hands at this tournament.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to come home and my ladder to improve quite.
I'm not shaking any more hands, man. It's getting warm in here.
It is getting quite warm. It's an experience that we probably shouldn't put on anyone else.
That's true. All right, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in for a lot of the games. We will be back in just a little bit, hopefully, with Oz versus Grubby.